Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper, and there's another video on Raid Shadow Legends. As previously stated, please make sure you join us in Aftershock United. We are a new gaming platform for Diablo Immortal and games beyond that, but we are a group of content creators and skilled game players who are looking to push Diablo Immortal and get ourselves into the legendary status of being the Immortal. And if you check out Aftershock Gaming, we have several clans being done, EU, West, and East US. We have them all over the place, and it'll give you the opportunity to play with some of your favorites. Deadwood Jedi, Trigger Happy John, they're in my Warband Whiskey. McHooten's there as well. You probably know McHooten if you've ever been on Twitch, as well as many others. Chosen, Darth Micro are in there. Scratch and Cold Brew are heading up the EU server, and plenty more. Maybe not Jay Giggs, as I said in the last video. He might have been eaten by a snake. I'm not 100%. I have not gotten confirmation, proof of life. I mean, he did text me that he was alive, but that could be anyone, right? That could be the snake. Well, it probably was a kangaroo. Snakes don't have hands or thumbs or fingers. But nonetheless, a lot of us are over there in Aftershock United. So check us out. Jump on the server on Discord. See what it's all about. We have some plenty of resources. You're going to see videos every day from many of the content creators. I myself am in the process of generating a new channel that'll do gameplay series for Diablo Immortal, focusing on the Warband Whiskey of the Aftershock Prime. So I hope to see you there. Now, on to the video. This is another challenge accepted. This time we are going to where I do not like to go. I hate, oh geez, I keep wanting to go. Why are the quests over there? Why gotta go to, anyway, whatever. Here's the clan quest. Here's the quest here. Clear the Ice Golem's Peak with all champions from Ogryn tribes, 10 times stage 20 plus. I hate it. It was the only one available to me this go around, so we're gonna go to the Ice Golem's Peak, my least favorite of any of the dungeons. I think it has the weakest rewards. I think it's the most gimmicky of them, and I mean, they're all gimmicky, right? But here's the team that I used. I've completed it twice. We're not going to use this team on this run. The advantage of this team, I was trying to use Gerptuck. So if you don't know what Gerptuck does, he places 3 poison debuffs on each champion, and then he does other stuff, right? Like, then he does his kit. But the key is that he has a passive here that allows you to do more damage when you're under poison. Now this is a 2-1, so he does the block buffs and everything. Now he also has heals, and he has a continuous heal. So overall, really good champion to use, except so what I was trying to do here is Occult Brawler has a passive that's sorry, not a passive, it's his A2, and if you have enough, and it's right here, it's if the champion is under 2 or more debuffs, enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived. Now I was trying to make sure that he always had at least 2 on, but 3-turn cooldown, he never seemed to use it on the right timing. And the disadvantage of this team here is that it's a lot more high risk, high reward, because I don't have a secondary support in there. I have a debuffer, I have a full support in Claude, amazing champion by the way. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in Garush. Occult Brawler still has a chance to put enough poisons on himself to do the block revive, but it's so RNG without either targeting or taking it to manual that I just didn't feel it was really worth bringing in Gerptuck and having that lesser survivability. So let's talk about the champions themselves. The first one, Occult Brawler. Now, Occult Brawler is an HP champion, but do not let that fool you. He actually does damage based on attack, so we want to make sure his attack's pretty high, and that's exactly what we did. We had 4152 at 235 crit damage, 302 accuracy, 190 speed. I did not go and I didn't min-max these champions. Obviously, I can do a way better job on all 3 of those numbers, but I didn't need to. We're just looking at putting together a team to get past here. And like I said, this is the key one if we can get that block revive. Other than that, it's the poisons that are really important. Those poisons up on the boss is just going to help take down the boss a little quicker. Our next champion for damage, this is our Wave Clear Biggin. Again, did not do anything special with him. He's at 4803 at 224 crit damage, 223 accuracy. He has a full kit. He has stuns. He's also in a stun set. So that's where I'm using him for control. And of course, we have a ton of other things with him. I just realized now in my own idiocy, I could have built out this team with a lot less accuracy because he has a 90 accuracy in dungeons, which is insane. I'm pretty sure it's the highest accuracy aura in the game in any area. I know there's a few 80s. I can't think of anyone that's 90 or up other than Biggin. So it's an absolute monster, but I didn't use it effectively, and that's my stupid, but we passed it, so I didn't bother. The other cool thing about him, aside from the fact he is in stun gear, he does have a stun and a decreased accuracy. He also has this decreased speed plus a turn meter reduction. So everything about his kit is absolutely amazing. This guy's one of the OGs of just pure damage dealing wave clearing. He doesn't have the multipliers that some of the other Trundas and Ethos and the like, but man, oh man, this guy saved my account. I was ready to switch over to my free-to-play account after I pulled a Venus and a Martyr as my first two legendaries within about 60 days of the game. And I nearly switched over to that account, but then I pulled Biggin, and that brought me right back to this account. This guy's amazing, and I love that I was able to use him for this ability. Next we have, pretty simple, Ugo is there just for the fact that she does have some heals, but it's mainly about this decreased defense. That block buffs, by the way, also a very strong ability in that second wave where you can get that reflect damage and actually have it kill your team, so especially your nukers. And I don't have a reviver here, sort of. I mean, Ugo can be a reviver under conditions, but we're not looking for that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure that they don't die, and that's one of the best ways to do it. And the other ways to do it, of course, is Grush is a great overall champion for support. He has a continuous heals on all allies. He's got, if at least one enemy's hit with a critical hit, he's got the baby for one turn. He's got this decreased attack and AoE, which is really important to save us against the boss, especially if we do too much damage while the minions are up. This decreased crit damage, decreased attack is a big deal for us. And a leech, which just actually helps a little bit of extra healing. And then finally, I would say the star, the unspoken star, is Claude Beastfeeder. I think this guy does not get near enough credit. He has an increased speed and increased accuracy. All allies 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. But not only that, he has a Get Behind Me, which places a shield buff on all allies for 20% of this champion's max HP. And then finally, he's got attacks one enemy decreased crit rate, which is just a nice added bonus, right? Against PvE, not a huge deal, but it can help you reduce some of that damage. And we look at his stats here: 97k HP, 247 speed, 265 accuracy. We want him to cycle through to get back to this get behind as much as possible. I just realized I forgot to show you the stats on these two. Ugo, 254 speed, 384 accuracy. Obviously I use her more than just here. She's just in her gear. She's in perception gear. She's in her normal gear that I use for her anytime I'm using her. And then Grush the Mangler. She's not min-max. I don't use her in arena. And then Grush here, 51k, 4400 defense, 231 speed, 301 accuracy. So just a lot of everything. Again, everyone has way too much accuracy given that silly 90 accuracy by Biggin. The one last thing that I want to mention before we run this is that my Claude is in Guardian set, and that's just going to give me some extra survivability on my Biggin and my Occult Brawler, who can die even though I do have them with okay HP. They are at risk. So let's go through this. Pretty simple here. You're gonna debuff. You're gonna do all the things, right? You see, he uses his A2 first, which gets some stuns out there, Biggin, and then he's gonna use his A3, and that's pretty much gonna take everyone down. There's our good friend Occult Brawler. Dropping this. So that's the big deal right there, is we got that block now. So now that those two what are they, War Terrors or Terror Beast or whatever the heck that thing is, those two dogs, they can't put up that reflect damage, which is the bane of any nuking champion in this. Funny how reflect damage doesn't work nearly as well for us as it does for these guys, and it's because they have so much HP and you can hit them so hard that you're just reflecting tons of damage on yourself. So there we go. Now we're on the boss. Now this is just an RNG fest. Like, will Occult Brawler put enough debuffs on himself in order to activate his A2 and block revive? That's going to be helpful. Not necessary though. I actually haven't had it happen yet, believe it or not. So there, see, he used it, but he only had one up. So perfect example, and then he goes in behind and kills him. So better luck next time. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. I could conceivably speed up Occult Brawler if I were gonna like use this team and hopefully get back to it, but I just don't think it's that critical in this particular case. If I was using, I actually used Occult Brawler, a little known fact, because we have another 2 minutes to go here. I actually used Occult Brawler originally for my Ice Golem 20 team way back 3 years ago. Occult Brawler was my poisoner in my clan boss from a very early age, way before I got Draco, and he's really good in this, especially when you can speed him up and he can just cycle those poisons. You see the poisons on the boss already, and the great thing is those poisons can potentially stop the activation of his special skill, which revives his allies. So depending on where those poisons land and when they tick, see here it didn't work, he revives them, but you can actually get the poison tick to ignore that threshold, which is a nice added ability that I can't seem to hit here. We are in a bit of trouble here. See there again, he used it. He had the block revive available. Now see, that's what happens when you do too much damage, and that actually happened once with Gerptuck. Thankfully, the other these three are going to stay alive, and they're going to beat it. No worries. It's just unfortunate that Occult Brawler didn't get another kick at the cat here. Just some bad timing. So you see one of the things that's kind of annoying with the poisons, although overall, obviously it's good to have those poisons on there, is that Grush didn't get the attack down. He was capped. So it's something you may want to consider and maybe choose a different set. We'll maybe take a quick look at other Ogryn tribe champions you might be able to use in this scenario if you don't have legendaries like Biggin. Because I think that's the only legendary I used, right? Yeah, so I only used one legendary Biggin, but if you were trying to go elsewhere, it's just going to take the waves a bit longer. Again, 317, whatever, Occult Brawler died at the end. It wasn't really a big deal. Still had those poisons up and was still kind of already did his job. Get that. So let's take a look at the index and talk about the Ogryns, and then we'll consider this one complete and we'll move on for another week. So I don't have him, but if you have Ignatius will also work really well here. He does really good damage. He has an HP burn. All good things. Drocool, another good one. He was a fragment fusion, one or the other. Very good support champion in this particular, and even Shamrock. Shamrock gives you a lot of buffs that allow you to do a lot of things, speed, and he actually does have a block revive himself, I believe. No, he has a remove, right? So he has a revive on death, decrease speed. He does have an aura in all battles of 70, so a good one there. But as far as epics, believe it or not, Ogryn have some of the best epics in the game. Man-Eater would be really good. You can block that freeze if you're worried about being frozen by the actual boss. Man-Eater will come in absolutely clutch there. Cage Breaker, Towering Titan, not the greatest out there, but absolutely useful. Eurogrim, I actually avoided Eurogrim, but Eurogrim could be your Occult Brawler replacement. I wanted to use Occult Brawler because I was hoping for those block revives, but you can see I'm 0 for 3 in runs getting a block revive. So Eurogrim, more survivable than Occult Brawler, still putting a ton of those poisons out, helping the team. You could conceivably have Eurogrim and Occult Brawler, though I think your poisons, you'll find you'll stack your deck a little too quickly, and what happened to me would also happen to you, where you'll lose some people because you're not getting that attack down from Grush. So that's a particular option. Grunch, not a big deal. Shatterbones and Grimskin will help you control the waves quite a bit, but I don't think they're going to speed up the wave over the ones I used. Maybe leave it in the comments down below if you think I'm wrong there. Siege Hulk, if you don't have Hugo, you can bring in Siege Hulk. Keep in mind, Siege Hulk is not a support champion. He's an attack champion, means more damage, but less survivability. So you got to be careful there. You don't want to end up dead. Other champions you could use, Ogre and Jailer actually can be stacked up to do some phenomenal damage. Again, going to be a little bit of a glass cannon, so you got to watch about that. Bellower for wave clearing. I have a Bellower. I didn't bother using him because I have Biggin, but Bellower is going to help you with waves as well. So you can just stack him with a ton of attack and just let him go with 3 AoEs. Put him in a stun set. Going to help those waves out a lot if you don't have a Biggin especially. Oddly enough, and I'm trying to think, I feel like I'm missing one. Do they not have a reviver? as I just clue into myself, I thought we got one. Gear Grinder. Oh, Gear Grinder is the reviver, right? I remember this. So if you find that you're just dying too often on this, you can bring in Gear Grinder. You just make him as tanky as possible. He's got 19k HP for a rare champion. That's a ton of HP. You can stack him up to 100k HP easily. Have this available because he can revive on a 5-turn cooldown with turn meter and 50% HP, and then he does have a heal all allies by 15% of their max HP and a little baby continuous heal, plus he does have a faction crypts aura in case you wanted to use him elsewhere. So Gear Grinder is kind of that focal point, that rare option that if you find you're dying too often on the boss and you're trying out something like this, then you can absolutely use Gear Grinder. I actually have him built for Doom Tower. He comes in handy on some of those rare ones. I don't remember exactly which one I used, but yeah, so definitely an opportunity there to use, as I believe he is the only reviver. Now, other champions, I think we went through just about everyone. Obviously, I don't know Gruckus yet. Grunch, I mean, he's got bombs. He's got a heal. He's got the cleanse. But I don't really feel like he's going to do a big deal to you. I think you're better off without. Galcut actually is an underrated damage dealer for waves if you need it. But because he has diminishing returns on his AoE, it's not the best option. But it is an option if you need someone to help clear waves. So there it is. There's Ogryn Tribes. 16 minutes, way more than I wanted it to go. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you appreciate the fun. These aren't going away, so let's keep at them and keep getting those challenges and see if we can't beat them all. Thank you for joining me in this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Please be kind, be safe, and as always, we will see you in the next video.